Hello, hello, and hello. It's 5:30 on a Friday. Most of y'all, hey Michelle, I'm doing good. Most of y'all are probably on the way home, riding home, on the way home, chilling. How are you doing, Michelle? How are you? I just want to talk about more likes can attract viewers. Yeah, I'm gonna have to start reminding y'all to hit the like button because I never say that. Hey, lady. Retired on your porch already? It's 5:30. Girl, it's still hot here. I'm gonna have to wait till it cool off. Hey Tasha. And I already got me some chocolatini. I already got me a bottle of chocolatini, so I'm ready. I am ready. I am ready. I might go get me another bottle because I didn't get the big bottle. I got the regular size like wine bottle. I might go back and get that big bottle of chocolatini. But if I do that, there will not be any TikToking later. There will be no TikToking later if I do that. These two pinches are great. Girl, I know it. I got one coming in. I need another one. Thank you, Charlotte. Happy Friday to you too. Listen, y'all, I gotta use I have to use euphemisms because I just got my live back and I don't want it to get taken. So I'm going to have to use a lot of euphemisms because y'all know people love to report me. I get reported for stuff and I don't even be doing anything. Okay. Thank you, Charlotte. I literally the last time we were just having random conversations about apps that people use to, I have to, so y'all know. So today we are talking about Chihuahuas and Dobermans, okay? Chihuahuas and Dobermans. Because I got a Chihuahua. Is that how you say their name? A Chihuahua? Is that what them little bitty ass little rat dogs are called? I got one in my comment section. She has been in my comment section for 2 months. Thank you, the Feminine Millionaire. Thank you. She has been in my comment section for 2 months, calling me old, fat, angry. She has told me that I don't know how to deliver messages, but she has done this for 2 months. Okay, the Feminine Millionaire, if you want to join, you can join. She's been in my comment section for 2 months talking trash. And my thing is this: if you are a Chihuahua, you need to run with Chihuahua. So whatever the name is. If you are a Beagle, you need to run with the Beagles. If whatever you are, you need to stay with those people because it doesn't make sense to show up with like Dobermans or German Shepherds or one of those big ass dogs, those Cane Corsos, and then start yapping at them because you don't understand what they're doing. You can't keep up. You don't understand. You know what I'm saying? Oh, okay, no problem. No problem. We'll talk later. I might hop on later if I don't. I already got me some chocolatini. So I might be drunk later. If I'm drunk, I ain't gonna be back on. Or I might get drunk and get back on and then talk some trash. But yeah, so my thing is though, you have to find your tribe. And the beauty of TikTok, it's like 1 billion people on this app. It's 1 billion people, so it does not make sense for you to show up in other people's comment sections that you don't agree with. Hey, Miss Ballet. It doesn't make sense for you to continue to show up in a space that triggers you, that makes you uncomfortable. Girl, yeah, I'm using euphemisms because the average American reads and comprehends on the 5th grade level. And I got one in my comment section. She about on kindergarten. And she's steadily using 2-syllable words to try to insult me. And I'm like, ma'am, my son could spell these words when he was, 3, and you haven't moved past that intellectually. Hey, big brain. I'm like, if you're going to insult me, if you're going to insult my intelligence, if you're going to tell me I don't know what I'm talking about, I need you to use words that I don't understand when you are insulting me. Because if you're using words that a 3-year-old can comprehend while you are insulting me, I'm not insulted. We are not the same. We are not on the same level. So y'all know, I don't know what happened just then. Oh Lord. She needs a thesaurus. Yes, she does. So y'all know the words. I'm always, I can't say the words because TikTok don't like it. But the usual, I'm up in age. You know what I'm saying? That one. And it's in the crazy part about that insult is if I was going to take any information, if I was going to listen to anybody, I am going to choose the person that has a lot of experience in the thing that I am trying to do. I am not listening to the person that has never experienced anything. So if I want to know about abusive relationships, I'm talking to women that have been in abusive relationships. I'm not talking to a woman that's happily married because she doesn't have a frame of reference. She just doesn't know what she doesn't know. She doesn't know what the red flags are. She doesn't know what the green flags are. She does not know what to tell me. So the people that I'm going to talk to will have to have experience in the thing that I'm looking for. And if that thing is life, I'm talking to the people that have lived longer than me. Like if I need advice, I'm not going to somebody 20. They don't have the frame of reference. You know, and so when younger women call older women, you try to insult us, it's almost like, first off, it's a 3-letter word. So that in itself, like when you start off with when you start insulting me with a 3-letter word, like I'm already like, baby, if you can't come up with another word, like if this is the maximum that your vocabulary allows, I'm bitter and I'm old, like this is the maximum level of your vocabulary. Call me vapid, call me insolent, call me, I can think of a whole lot of words. It is a blessing to age, you know what I'm saying? Like call me some words that I have to be like, what is she saying? But when you come on a basic level and you're trying to insult somebody, I'm like, why don't you scroll? It doesn't make sense to me. The other thing is this. We as women are in a special time. Like we are in a special time. We are able to share information in a way that is unprecedented. We are able to live our lives in a manner that is unprecedented. You know what I'm saying? We are able to create communities in a way that is unprecedented. We're able to talk to women in other states, not just other cities, other states, in other countries. We're able to have an impact on people's lives in ways that has never occurred in history. And so when I'm on this app, I'm always telling my story because I want people to understand that, you know, I had a brain tumor. I've lived in other countries. I had a baby late in life, and the baby almost killed me again from the brain tumor. I started literally a multi-million-dollar company. I've gone through a divorce. I'm living my best life at 50. Like, there are a lot of things that have happened in my world that there are lessons that I've learned that I can pass to younger women. That I didn't have anybody when I was going through my brain tumor that I can call up and say. There were message boards back then, but like to get on an app and type in hashtag brain tumor, I couldn't do that. And then find a whole community of people that'll say, this is what you have to look forward to. This is what you're going to experience. This is what you need to know. This is how it's going to affect your relationships. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have that. I had to navigate that on message boards and read and articles and blogs and stuff like that. Here, you can literally on a live and find somebody experiencing the exact same thing that you are experiencing. When I joined the divorce, when I talk about my divorce, there are so many women that, thank you, Charlotte, that jump into my DM saying, I have watched you maneuver this, and it gives me hope. I have watched you maneuver this, and I've never heard you say anything bad about your ex-husband. I have watched you maneuver through this, and it let me know that I needed to move on. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't know what you don't know. So many times men are like, oh, ain't nobody gonna want you, blah, 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 blah. And then you see me, and I'm like, girl, you cute. What are you talking about? There is somebody out there for you. And it gives you the confidence to actually go out and do things, because you say, if a 50-year-old woman can find the confidence, if a 50-year-old woman can get out there, I know I can do it at 30, or I know I can do it at 40. Or there's some 50-year-olds saying, hey, if she can do it, I can do it. So we have this unique ability right now to share our stories and create a whole tribe of people. And so it doesn't make sense to me that somebody would live in a comment section and stay triggered every single day. Literally just stay triggered. Be angry. Log on to this app and then be angry every single day and argue with people every single day. I was up to about 2 o'clock this morning. I promise y'all, laughing at TikToks. Laughing at submarine TikTok. Like, I went down submarine TikTok. That rabbit hole had me dying laughing. And then I was watching some goat TikTok. Like, it makes me happy to get on this app. Like, there are people that I look forward to interacting with on this app. It brings me joy. It makes me happy. You know, there are people that I follow that I'm going to their page because I know TikTok not going to show it to me, but I'm looking for them to say, hey, Isaac, I'm looking. That submarine had me, boy, they had me dying laughing. Because we are wild. We're going to make a joke about everything over here on this app. I don't even know why people mad. They might as well go on over to Facebook and be outraged over there. Because if it's something happening, we're going to laugh about it over here. But I got joy the whole time. That whenever I'm on this app, I'm learning things from new people. Girl, let me tell you something. See, the way that my brain is set up, and the way that I understand math, and I'm calculating pressure, and I'm just like, okay, this does not look like it's going to be able to withstand the pressure from the ocean. Now, I'm not even a seologist. I don't know a whole lot about marine biology. But that part, I'm like, this part doesn't make sense. Like, we know about the pressure in the ocean, and this little tin can that you're getting in is not going to withstand it. That part. Hey, Grace. And the other part is true. Why are they obsessed with that graveyard? My family went to, rented a mansion. We rented a mansion on a lake. So we went it, like, you know how people have, it wasn't an Airbnb. I forget what it's called, but it's a VRBO is what it is. And so we rented this like 10-bedroom mansion on a lake. And we were out on the lake. And I would not get into the water. I forget what lake it is. It was one of them in South Carolina. And I was like, I'm not getting in this water. I just feel like there's something under the water. Like, I just feel like I was like extra sensitive to what was in that water. I was like, it's something about this lake. I'm not feeling it. Like, I'm not getting in this water. The kids jumped in. Everybody was in the water swimming. And I'm like, it's something here. It's something not right. You already know. They flooded a black town, dammed it, and flooded a black town, and you know, they just flooded the whole town. And so there were still graveyards, homes. Like, they didn't flatten anything. Like, everything on the bottom of that lake, God, I could remember the lake, whatever it is, everything at the bottom of that lake was still standing. So it was homes, it was graveyards, it was churches, it was schoolhouses, it was everything. It was in South Carolina. What is that lake in South Carolina? But Lake Lanier, I think that is what it is. And so, but everything was still, I could feel it. And so when people start, no, this one is in South Carolina. This one was in South Carolina. That one is in Georgia, but they did the same thing to a lake in South Carolina. And so my thing is, when people start traveling to graveyards, final resting places, like, I don't understand that mentality at all. And I think that for melanated people, anybody melanated, I don't care, any melanated culture has a reverence for their ancestors. Like, any melanated culture, if you look at any of them, we have a reverence for our ancestors. So we have a respect for the departed that I don't think that non-melanated people have. We pray to our ancestors. We reach back on their strength. We call on our ancestors. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, y'all hit the like button. Hit the like button. Y'all give me the 5,000 likes. I be forgetting to say that because I just be on here vibing. But we have a reverence for our ancestors, and so when we are confronted with graveyards, or when we're confronted with death, when we're confronted with, these sacred places, we don't have a desire to travel there. We just don't have that desire. It's like something inherent in us repels us. It's like you just know not to do this. You're not even sure why. But in our DNA, not to go to these places. We feel the negative energy. We feel the atrocity that has occurred there because we are in tune to that part of our life. Another thing, I say this. Now y'all about to hear me. I was a math major. And so I think about things a lot differently because I'm always thinking about it on a much higher spiritual level. Because the math in me be like, you know what? So we can only hear, see, smell about 5% of what is actually around us. 5%, okay? We can only see 5% of the light spectrum. We can only hear 5% of the sounds, smell 5%. That means 95% of the things that occur around us, we cannot even perceive it. Okay? We can't even perceive it. We don't even understand that it's there. Just think about a dog. A dog can smell things that we can't smell. A dog can hear things that we can't hear. Okay? So we're not even the most sensitive beings on the planet. Dolphins communicate on a pitch that we can't hear. So we're not even the most sophisticated being on the planet. 95% of what exists in our world, we cannot even recognize. That's right, plants talk too. They have shown how plants communicate. If you think about life like that, it puts you in a different space and you move a little bit differently. You learn to trust your instinct and your intuition a little bit more because you understand that messages are coming to you that you need to pay attention to. But if you've turned all of that off through cultural conditioning, through religion, through capitalism, through patriarchy, and those things you have buried deep, when it comes to danger, you don't recognize it. Because there's no way that I would have gotten that submarine, because for a variety of reasons. The Titanic being the least of which it was. You know what I'm saying? Just the fact that we're going to the last resting place of a bunch of people is enough to make me say immediately no. But even if it wasn't even the Titanic, it was just the ocean. There's something about the ocean that makes me go, no, baby, I think I'm going to pass on this. Even when I'm at the beach, there's a point that my natural instinct kick in and be like, this feels like far enough. But when you turn all of that off and you're not in touch with literally Mother Earth, it's called grounding for a reason. You know what I'm saying? It's called grounding for a reason. When you are not in touch with, and I know this is like a rant that y'all were not expecting. When you turn all of that off, that's why a lot of people end up in the situations that they're in, because they are not in alignment with who they need to be. Their lives are not in alignment, and they are not in tune to how they should be moving through the world. And even when help is sent, they are so out of alignment with who they are and how they should exist in the world that they don't even recognize that help has been sent to them. They actively reject those people that are there to help them. That's one of the things I say about y'all in relationships. Y'all are so accustomed to swiping that you don't recognize people that are good for you. You see what I'm saying? You don't recognize the energy from a person that it's complementary to you. You don't recognize it. And then you got these damn dating coaches that are like, oh, the butterflies you feel is your fight or flight reflex. And I'm like, if you cannot tell the difference between fight or flight, Okay? You are in danger. You cannot tell the difference between danger and love. Like, that doesn't even make any sense. That literally doesn't make any sense, that you as a human cannot tell the difference between, I need to run away from this man because I am in danger. And it might not be physical danger. It might be psychological danger, emotional danger, physiological danger. You know what I'm saying? That type of danger. You can't tell the difference between that and, oh, I love him. That's a deeper conversation that we need to have as a people. That's a deeper conversation that we need to have as a people. You see what I'm saying? And you're right, Natalia, you're right. They don't trust themselves because they've been, the intuition and the natural understanding and the natural alignment with how you should exist in the world has been, they've suppressed it. And so now they have to have all of these conflicting messages from all of these random people telling them how to move through the world. So, oh, you need a checklist for a man. Why do you need a checklist for a man? Like, why do you need a checklist for a man? You need a checklist for a partner? Like, I'm not understanding that. You know what I'm saying? You don't know how to meet somebody and know if this person is for you. You need checklists for friends. You can't tell when somebody is your friend or not. And then we got a fear of being alone. So our desire to be around other people will override our common sense every single time. And then we'll make excuses for people. So all of that. And I'm always looking like, Samuel, I'm about to let you come up here, but I promise you, if you say anything crazy, to be kicked off and blocked. I guess he didn't make it. Because y'all know, I don't be playing. It says it's connecting. So they got 1,000 followers. And see, the thing about me, for some reason, my lives and my videos show up in Africa. Like, and I know I'm saying Africa like it's one thing, but it's all different countries in Africa. It's not like it's just one. So for whatever reason, I have a lot of just people from Africa, from the continent of Africa, watching me. And so they'll come on and I'm like, baby, like we not doing this. Like, we not doing this. So we're going to see where he's from. But anyway, so a lot of these people are just straight up out of alignment with their lives. And these younger women, rather than listening to older women that will help them get in alignment so that they can live an authentic life. Y'all, I joined this dating app, and let me tell you, trash. I need to get off of them apps. I don't even know what I did that for. I do not know what I did that for. I literally thought that I don't know what I thought. I thought that it was gonna be better than it was, but I got on there and I was like, I was talking to a dude, and we were talking about something, and I literally said, well, statistically speaking, Black women are the most loyal of all the women out there. You know, I was like, Black women are the most loyal. Where you get that from? And I'm like, well, there have been various studies that have been, done over the last decades, examining marriage and family. Well, like what? And I was like, you mean like the Department of Labor and Statistics? Like, most of this data that I'm telling you, you can go and get it from reputable sources. This joker was like, I don't care about you and your numbers. I don't care about you and your numbers. Thank you. I don't care. You coming up in here telling me all this stuff, and I'm going to just go with what I know. I'm going to just go with what I see when I walk out the door. I was just like, oh, okay. And that's when I said, okay, I need to get off the app. I need to get off the apps. I got to get off these apps because that joker told me that I got my own numbers. I'm going to start going out. I've been working a lot. So I said I am actually going to start going out and meeting people in the wild so that I can have these real conversations, because we were video chatting, so that I can have these real conversations in real life. Because had I gone on a date with him and he said that and we were on a date, I promise you I would have paid for my meal and went home. It would have been over. I would not have continued the conversation, because I just don't have time for somebody to tell me that I got my own numbers. Like I'm like we back in caveman days, just figuring out how numbers work. Like, sir, it can't. And his job was cybersecurity, so he works with numbers every day, because cybersecurity is just ones and zeros and data analysis. Like, this is what he did every day. But he talking to me like I'm just making up my own numbers because it didn't fit his narrative. Sir, these are not my numbers. I don't have any math books. You know what I'm saying? I didn't invent anything new. I'm smart, but I'm not that damn smart to introduce a whole brand new numerical system. Like, trust me, I'm not that. But because it did not fit his narrative, because it didn't fit with what he wanted to believe, he was just belligerent. And so he's one of those dudes that's going to find a way to make me wrong every single time. So I had to just say, yeah, we cannot talk. We cannot talk, because this doesn't make any sense that, you're telling me that I'm just making up numbers, and I'm giving you practical places to go to find the data. That, and he quoted his mama 5 times during the conversation. He quoted his mama, his dead mama, 5 times during the conversation. And I love my dead daddy. My daddy died when I was about 35. Was it? Yeah, I was about 35 when my daddy died. And when I start quoting Haywood, the conversation is off the damn rails. When I start saying my daddy said, that means the conversation off the rails. Regardless, I don't be quoting my daddy on dates. I'm not going out with a man and going, well, my daddy said you need to know how to change a tire. Like, what? Like, when my daddy said that, we didn't have triple A. Like, we didn't have car insurance that included roadside assistance. So when he said it, it made sense to know how to do that. Now it's a skill that a man should have, but if he doesn't have it, it's kind of okay. Like, you'll still get the tire changed. But when he said it, it made sense. In 1970, 1980, it made sense. 1990, it started being a little questionable. And in 2023, like, we go, some of this old timey stuff, we do have to retire. I'm with y'all on that. So, but anytime he was talking about, my mama said, when you get up every morning, you need to make the bed. And if you don't make the bed when you wake up in the morning, that's just a sign of what did he say? God, some crazy something he said. And I was just like, if I wake up late, that bed not getting made up, I'm jumping up. Like, I'm trying to figure out what else did he say. His mama said. I know his mama told him to go into the military too. His mama wanted him to go into the military, so he went into the military. So I was just like, oh my God. You know what? She probably was, but I will say this in women's defense. Women had to survive back in the day. Okay. Women had to figure out a way to survive with their captors, basically. So if you were in a relationship with a man, it was almost adversarial back in the day, because he resented you on one level and you depended on him on another. So I try not to be too judgmental of older women, because they had a very precarious life that they had to live. But at some point in time, we have to look at those. We have to look at those, words of wisdom and just kind of go, okay, okay. My mother-in-law was the same way. Like, she was hyper religious. Like, she was super religious. I don't call people narcissists, because I dated a narcissist and he had papers. He literally had papers. His job forced him to go get therapy for his narcissism. And so when y'all say people are narcissists, it's just usually a person that don't agree with you or has, narcissistic tendencies, but they're not narcissists. When you deal with a narcissist, a certifiable, going to get counseling, got to talk to a therapist, narcissist, it's a different experience. You stop calling people that you don't get along with narcissists. You don't even do it because it is not, there's no comparison. There's literally no comparison. But I forgot what I was going to say about women. Oh, he was a basket case. Charlotte, he was a basket case. He was crazy as hell. And he was like, I know when this video chat is over, you're not going to call me anymore. I was thinking, you're absolutely correct. You're absolutely correct. 30%. So, most narcissists won't go to therapy. This dude was a millionaire. He had a high-powered job. And his job forced him to go get therapy. So it's not like he had a choice. Like if it was just him, like regularly on the street, he probably would not have. But because his job was like either you go get therapy and you learn how to manage your behavior. Like he was super smart. Y'all know I love a super smart man. He was super smart, but he had to go get therapy to deal with people. So I'm just saying. So I'm just saying, like, I'm one of those people, like, I'm not telling people, I don't use therapist words if I'm not 100% sure that it's therapist accurate. And we got too many people on here that are coaches that parade as licensed therapists and they don't know what they're talking about. It goes back to the point that I was saying earlier, where they're saying, the butterflies that you feel is really your fight or flight instinct. Like, you don't know the difference between being in danger and being in love. But you got these therapists out here saying it over and over and over and over and over like it's true. And there's absolutely no research that supports that statement. There's absolutely no research that supports that statement. So you can feel butterflies and be in love with a person. It does not mean that, it's a toxic relationship. That is absolutely not what it means. Are you into art? Oh, that photo I am, and I got a lot of, that is an actual painting. And I have quite a few paintings throughout my house. And then I have some prints that I really like. But that one is beautiful. It's vibrant and it makes me happy. And it's in my kitchen. And so my kitchen has a lot of red in it. But yeah, so yes, I am. But Muddy Waters song, The Thrill Is Gone. I'm just saying, I'm just very careful about how I engage with people because there are a lot of people on this app that will say it over and over and over and over and over, whatever it is. It could be a statistic. I was looking at something today where, the manosphere loves to say that 70% of prisoners came from single parent homes. Now, this is a stat that has been quoted over and 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 over again. But when you do a deep dive into it, it's not anywhere near the truth. It's not anywhere near the truth. It got convoluted. It was a study on children that were in juvenile facilities. The study looked at children that came from single parent homes, not single mother homes. They looked at children that did not come from two parent homes. So it could be one parent, and that parent could be a male or a female, or they could have been in foster homes, or they could have been in homes raised by other relatives. Okay, so that's what the study actually looked at. And so they took this study, twisted the numbers up, and then came up with this 70% of people in prison or men. It's not even sure if it's men, young men, black men. It just varies based off of a person's argument. And it is not based in reality at all. It's not based in reality at all. And as a matter of fact, the people that do the absolute worst in life, are children that live with their fathers and then their father remarry. Those are the people that do the absolute worst in life because the fathers will often neglect those children in preference to their wife, their new wife or their new partner and their new family. And we know that that is true, because how many men do we know have turned their back on their first family, Brian McKnight, to go and be with a whole new family, and Steve Harvey, and act like that first family don't even exist. We see it over and over. You know what I'm saying? So the children that do the absolute worst are children that are raised by fathers that remarry. But they're not going to tell you that. Hey, Diva, they're not going to tell you that stat. You know what I'm saying? They want to make everything seem like somehow or another it's a black mother that's the problem, even though it's the father that didn't show up for the children. Like, it makes no sense. Like, and this app shows you how crazy it sounds. You know, when you're looking at somebody, and let me tell you something, that Dr. Umar, now, a broken clock is right twice a damn day. Because he just chomp, 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 chomp. He gave those dudes no room. No room. Okay? If you haven't seen the Dr. Umar video, it's basically a bunch of incels being stupid, and Dr. Umar just hitting them with the facts, hitting them with the facts, hitting them with an intellectual argument. And he's been doing this for years. So why they would have him on the show is like absolute insanity. I'm not going to argue with a physicist about physics. I'm just not doing it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not arguing with a mechanic about fixing cars. I'm not doing it. I'm just not doing it. You know, I'm not arguing with a theologist about the Bible. I'm out of my league. So when he showed up and just took their lunch over and over and over with nothing but stats, when you hear it, you see how stupid it sounds. So black women are not feminine enough. Well, we gave them all of the masculine roles, and now we're mad that they're not soft after we as a community of black men gave them the roles of a man to do. Never mind the fact that that role of a man is steeped in patriotism, colonialism, Christianity. Just take all of that off of the table. Stuff that we didn't even come over here with. Stuff that as melanated people. It's not even in our DNA. It's not even in our DNA. If you look at melanated cultures, and I always say melanated because it's not just about black. It's about pretty much any indigenous group of people. They were about community. The community was the priority. Okay? All throughout history, looking at melanated people. And these roles of feminine and masculine were not defined by gender. They were defined by what you were good at. So if you were a female and you were a good hunter, nobody told you to cook rice. It didn't make sense. The community depended on you to excel at the thing that you were good at. So if that meant that you were good at, you know, herding the sheep, that's what you did. It wasn't until we were colonized and then introduced to Christianity that these gender roles and these gender norms became hardwired in culture. And they're hardwired in culture, but they're not hardwired in us because we still rebel against them. But when you rebel against them because of cultural conditioning, then you're treated a certain kind of way because it doesn't serve the people that you're rebelling against. So anyway, when you hear those arguments, and you're looking at it, you're just going, this does not make any sense. When you're looking at older black women living their best life, and then you got some man saying, oh, you're going to hit the wall. Women invented animal husbandry. Yes. Women invented a whole bunch of stuff. Men turn feminine as they get old. Women turn masculine as they turn. I don't know about that. See, I don't know about that. I don't get into that kind of stuff. I'm probably more feminine now than I have been probably ever. So I don't know about that part. But the community depended on people to show up as their best self was my point. The community depended on people to show up as their best self. And it's interesting, men chefs are not called gay because they are, Gordon Ramsay isn't called gay. That's what I was going to say. And I'm not old, but I am older than a lot of people. Like I'm not going to live another 50 years. I'm probably not going to live to be 100. That's just what the genetics say on my family. So I'm halfway there. Okay. But the thing is this, when you hear men say, when you get 50, you're going to be old, fat, alone, playing with your cats, you've hit the wall and your life is over. When you hear men saying that, because women don't say that. Young women say it, but they got Stockholm syndrome when they say it. When you see a woman that is vibrant, still beautiful, because we were told to take care of ourselves. So we've taken care of ourselves. So we look good for our age, whereas nobody told men to take care of themselves. So they look a hot mess. So you got these women that have been eating right, taking care of themselves, looking good, traveling. We've had to work, so we got our own money. So when you hear somebody say, "Oh, when you get 50, it's over," and then you see all of these women and it's not over, you just kind of go, this don't make no sense. Like, what you're saying literally is not true. It's literally not true, and you can see that it is not true. Hey, I'm Fierce. How you doing? Grace, I didn't marry again, so I look 40. I'm 60. Honey, not married. When I look younger now than I did when I was married. Everybody say that. Everybody tell me that I look better now than when I was married to my ex-husband. It's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? So when you literally see the truth, when you get divorced, you're going to be all sad and lonely. And then you see divorced women and they the happiest. When I tell you divorced women are the happiest, get around some divorced women with money. Get around some divorced women with money on a trip in another country. Get around them on a cruise and see what happened. Get around them on a resort and see what happened. For real. They don't even know you. What you drinking? You come on over here. Get some of this. Okay? Like, find some women that are divorced and living their best life. And then find some men. Find some divorced men. When I tell you them the saddest, loneliest, most pitiful jokers ever, I don't even like being around them. I just be like, sir. And I saw one young girl on here talking about she like a recycled man, a husband. She want a husband. She want a man that's been married before, because they know how to be in a relationship. I said, honey, you know what? I'm just going to let her go with that. She will find out the hard way. Because just because they were married don't mean they know how to be married. Just because they were married does not mean that they know how to be in a relationship. Child, the divorced men that I see, I don't even like talking to them because they are very angry and resentful that the life that they've been threatening women with, being old and alone, is them. It's them. And the women that they meet and vibrant, having fun, hanging out with their girls, taking trips, and they sitting at home watching football, yelling at the TV, yelling at children to get off their damn lawn. That's what they doing. Sitting up in nursing homes, angry that won't nobody come see them, looking for a nurse or a purse. I know I told y'all about the story that me and my friend were out. We don't even speak anymore. We fell out because of this. We were at the club one night. And so I'm 52, she 60. No, she's like 57 or something like that. But she met a dude that was 70, right? He looked good for 70. He did look good for 70. It was a facade. So she met him. I was like, he old. So she met him. And I remember one time we were talking and she was like, they were talking and his tooth fell out. Like they were doing something like his tooth fell out. And I said, bitch, what? His tooth fell. You tell me to him? And so I was like, if them teeth, fall out, like, that's just an indicator that everything is rotten. Like, if the teeth fall out, everything is rotten. The gums, they got some infection up near the brain. Y'all think I'm just making up stuff. But the heart, they have done studies that show that, when the teeth are rotten, it's a whole lot of other stuff going on. Okay. Next thing happened, he had a heart attack, right? Had a heart attack. And I was like, I told you, if the teeth are bad, the heart is bad. Like, I don't know the correlation. I think they said it's something about the bacteria that gets into the bloodstream, attacks the heart or something like that. But don't quote me on that. But if a man's teeth are bad, his heart is bad. If his heart is bad, y'all know that little other thing, that thing ain't working at all, because the heart can't pump enough blood to, make it stand up. So anyway, so if they teeth bad, heart bad, Mr. Peter is dead, okay? So we were talking, and I was like, so then he was sick. And then he had something else happen. And she texted me and was like, oh, I'm visiting Billy Bob. We're at the hospital. And I said, well, are we going to the funeral or not? Like, how much time he got? When I tell you, she was mad at me. She was hot with me. You're so insensitive. I was like, you're literally in the hospital with a man that has on a diaper. Like, he don't have too much longer. Like, I know you like him, but we need to be trying to figure out, like, what we gonna do. She was hot with me. Stop being my friend. Stop being my friend. 3 months later, she sent me a message talking about, you already know. 3 months later, 90 days. Joker had 90 days. He didn't, yeah, he had family. They knew what was up. They knew what was up. That's what I said. I told you should have married him. I told her to marry him. I was like, he that sick, go ahead and marry him. If you're going to take up for him and go to the hospital and visit him, marry him. It wasn't that much time. At least it was only like 6 months. But yeah, 90 days though, he was dead. He was dead. And we still not friends. We still not friends. She called me and was like, hey, I've been thinking about what happened. And I was like, well, that's just too damn bad. Keep digging. Keep digging. Y'all seen the meme? That's just too damn, I'm tired of digging, Grandpa. That's how I felt. I'm just too damn bad. Keep digging. Honey, keep going, because this friendship is over. Because I'm done. I am done. Yeah, he in the club trying to rap the women. He didn't want to be alone. I mean, I don't blame him for that. I do not blame anybody for not wanting to be alone. I mean, nobody wants to be alone. It doesn't matter if you're old, but the longer you go without repairing familial relationships, the harder it becomes to repair those relationships. So it's easier, to have a superficial relationship with a stranger than to have a deep, impactful one with your family. So if you have to choose, you know what I'm saying? If you got to choose between being alone and having a very superficial relationship, a lot of men will just choose the superficialness of at least having somebody to call and say, how are you? Or swing by and see them and bring them a plate, even though it's super superficial. You couldn't trust her. I don't know if I could trust her or not. I just know that I was just like, So for me, I told everybody last year, and I've said this before on this app, my life is invite only. I was trying to decide what I wanted to do with my company last year. And I was like trying to decide if I wanted to keep it open, if I wanted to close it, what I was going to do. I had met this entanglement that I'm still in, and I was trying to navigate that, trying to figure out what I was going to do with my life. And so the people that I had around me, I really needed them to be stable for me, because everything else was unstable. I was really going through a transition. And so I wasn't sure if I wanted to live in the space that I'm living in. And so I told people, I said, it's invite only. I can't have just random people showing up at my house inviting themselves in. You know what I'm saying? I'm not talking to random people. I'm not making new friends. The people that I make friends with is going to be very intentional. I had a friend that called me, one of my sorority sisters called me. And she said, hey, I want to extend an olive branch to you. I want to make up. I want us to, hey, Troy Tanner, are you ready to marry me yet? I ain't getting married again. You better take that to one of them pick-me's, because I'm not her. If I get married again, some of my checks stop from my ex-husband. And I done told him I ain't ever marrying. You gonna send me my checks. I earned them. But I forgot what I was saying. But yeah, my life was invite only. So my sorority, I'm a Delta. And so my sorority sister called and was like, I want to extend this olive branch. There's been tension. I know we're going on this big trip, and I want us all to show up at this trip in a good space. I said, what the hell did you call me for? I said, if you think I'm about to get on this damn hamster wheel with you, you are out of your fucking mind. I'm not having no conversation with you when we go on this trip, and you don't need to try to talk to me. And she was like, but I said, I don't know what you thought. As far as I'm concerned, you don't exist. We've had this conversation before. We had this conversation 5 years ago, and you engaged in the exact same behavior. And therefore, I have no words for you. What did she do? Okay. I'm gonna have to figure out a way to say this without, the people that know, but I don't want the people that don't know, just in case. She was a person that did not live up to the hype. Okay. She didn't live up to the hype. And so she was supposed to be this grandiose person that had these grandiose dreams, and she was supposed to be important. She's not important. I am. And I'm not being funny when I say that. Okay. So of our circle of friends, I'm the wild one. I'm drinking, debauchery, fighting like I was a wild child. Y'all can tell I'm a wild child now. So I was not the one that was supposed to be who I am. Articles written about me, running a multi-million-dollar company, doing all of this stuff, on TV, all of this. I was not supposed to be the one. She was supposed to be the one. And so there was always headbutting whenever we were together. How's that little candle company? Oh, you mean the multi-million-dollar candle company? Is that the one that you're referring to? And then they'll be like, well, can I cash app you some money for a candle? And I'm like, you think I'm walking around with candles in my trunk? Like, I have a whole warehouse. And at the time I had like 25 employees. And we had just been on like Good Morning America. And I had just flown for Seattle from a speaking engagement. And so, it was always that nitpicking, that pecking, that pecking. You know what I'm saying? And y'all know I respond to passive aggressive behavior with aggressive behavior. So when you come to me passive, I'm calling you out. What you doing? Where you working? I'm just flying in from Boston. Goldman Sachs flew me out to do a speaking event. You know what I'm saying? Like, who? I'm just coming in from Atlanta, visiting Macy's. Traveling to different Macy's where our candles just launched. Like, what are you doing? So that's how I do. You see what I'm saying? So people, to be in their feelings, even though they started it. Because I'm going to be like, you bought a knife, I bought a sledgehammer. You bring a sledgehammer, I got a bomb. So you have to be careful how you approach me, because I don't take to that type of behavior very kindly, because I don't do it to other people. I don't care what you're doing. If you got a little soap company, I'm acting like that's the best soap company ever. Baby, how you doing? How's that soap? But who bought it? Blah, blah. I'm hyping you up. That's how I do. So when you come to me and you petty, hold on. I'm going to show y'all what happened when people come to me and they petty. Hold on. I'm about to show you. This is where I'm going. This is exactly where I'm going. The depths of hell. This is where I'm going. This is how petty I'm going to be. The depths of hell. Me and Satan right there beside each other, kikiing and laughing at the jokes that I'm telling about you. Depths of hell. This is where I'm going. So, I've always been like this. So, that was the problem. So she was trying to extend this olive branch. You know what I'm saying? She was trying to preemptively extend this olive branch. So when we got into this environment, you know what I'm saying? It was like a peace treaty had already been signed. But I won't sign no treaties. Fuck that treaty. Fuck that branch. I'm about to slap you with the branch. So that's what happened. Black Eve is basically about moving through life and finding your tribe. It's about finding your people, surrounding yourself with people that are a part of your tribe, who support you, who believe in you, who want to see you do well, and staying away from people that don't want to see you do well. And it's not even about hate or jealousy or anything like that. It's about surrounding yourself with people that believe in you. That's what it's about. And this app is a wonderful place to curate a whole feed of people that is going to feed you. People that you don't even have to talk to. People that you don't even have to interact with. People that you can just look at and say, hey, that's how I want my life to be. I don't have to know her. I don't have to agree with her. But when I turn 50, I want to be living that type of life. What app is that? This app, TikTok. TikTok. If you curate your feed right, I love logging on to TikTok. I love being on here because all of the people that I follow and interact with feed what I believe. Feed me living my best life. I follow older women. I follow women that are in their 40s and 50s living their best life, that are traveling, that are fashionable. Now, I ain't ever going to be fashionable, but I look to them like inspiration, not aspiration. So I have two groups of people that I follow here. People that are aspirational, that I can actually get to, like I'm going to get to this level. And then there are people that I follow that are inspirational. I'm not wearing no Gucci. But I'll follow somebody going into the Gucci store and having the Gucci experience. But I would never go into a real Gucci store. I'm too country. So those are inspirational. And then I have people that are aspirational. And so that's where my content falls. And so for a lot of people, they follow people that trigger them, that they can't stand, that they don't want to see. And then they're angry. And then they get off and they riled up. When I get off of here, I'm relaxed because I done laughed at a whole bunch of foolishness. I done watched some goats and some laughing goats, and I don't know how many cow videos that I done watched with them doing the hoof. I'll watch one of those every single time. I love seeing young black women just giving it to young black men. Like, I love seeing them just living their best life and saying, I'm not dealing with this. I'm not blah, 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 blah. Can you believe this happened? And I'm not. Like, I love watching them. I love seeing them in their apartments and how they got it decorated because they're so, like, I love watching younger women. I do. I follow a whole bunch of them. I love their point of view because I'll be like, damn right, honey. Yes. You know, so, and then I follow older women that are just doing the damn thing. They're living their best lives. They're creating communities of older women to make sure that we're moving the way that we need to move. So that's why I love this app, you know, because you can curate it to a way that fits you. And so when people be in my comment section arguing with me, it's like it legitimately baffles my brain that they are there. I'm like, why are you, of all the content that you can watch, why are you watching the one person that you're angry to see their face? You're angry to hear what they have to say. Like, why did you watch the whole video and then type a comment and then argue with the other people? Like, why? They are hit dogs, especially when I start talking about having babies. Whenever I talk about having a baby and that some of these women don't need to be mamas, they literally do not need. Dogs do a better job of raising puppies than some of these women do with raising children. Bears, deers, dolphins do better jobs. Hell, cockroaches do better jobs than some of these women. And when you say that, they're angry. When you say, ma'am, you should have chose a better baby daddy, like, they are angry. They are mad when you say, you got 4 kids and he got the IQ of Beelzebub. Like, and he looking like the hunchback of Notre Dame, and you wondering why all your children are special needs. Like, they get angry when you just point out the obvious. And I'm just saying, just make better choices. It's not about the choice that you made. It's about how you move forward. It was done, but now you can move forward and have a different life. You can have a different life now. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of them just be angry. They just argue with you like it's your fault. Well, what was I supposed to do? And then you tell them what they were supposed to do, and then they be mad about that. And it's like, okay, ma'am, you just need to go find a baby mama support group. That's it. Like, just find a baby mama support group, and all of y'all just be angry together. And listen, I'm in a divorce group. I am in a divorce group, and every time somebody come in there complaining about their ex-husband, I literally say, you need to focus on yourself. You need to stop worrying about him, and you need to focus on yourself. And then they be like, well, what about the 10 years that I gave him, and he just threw it away, and he with somebody else, and you think I'm going to just let him go off and be happy, blah, blah, blah. And I'll be like, all that you're holding on to is making your life miserable. Every single time I type that, I get attacked. I stopped typing it. I said, you know what? Y'all just want to be miserable. Y'all just want to be miserable. And y'all want to be miserable, and you want to make everybody else's life miserable. The moment I started focusing on myself, surrounding myself with good people, I didn't have no choice. My sister literally told me, you got 2 more weeks of crying over this man. And I was like, what? She was like, you got 2 more weeks. And I was like, but I need closure. I need to understand why. And she was like, you do not need to understand why. And you do not need closure. You got all of the closure you needed when he chose that other woman. When he started treating you poorly, that was all the closure you need. And now you got about 2 more weeks to cry about it. And then you can't call me no more. Ma'am, what? What? I thought I was going to get some sympathy. I thought I was going to get to lay in my little misery and wallow around in it for indefinitely. I had, at that point, it had been about 2 weeks. So I had 2 more weeks. So I had a month to get over 22 years of marriage. I had a month. And she was like, you can cry, but don't call me. Just sit on the couch, cry, and then get over it. And then you can call me later. Thank you. And I was like, oh my God. And that was it. And then that's it. Once I did that, though, I promise you, once I did that and I started getting out and I started worrying about myself and I started focusing on my company, my life just opened up in a way that I could not have imagined. The moment I focused on myself and my son, it just... Y'all, it's amazing. There's no way that you could have told me 10 years ago. Like, I've been divorced 5. There's no way you could have told me 5 years ago. I haven't been divorced 5. I've been divorced 3. But let's say I went back 5 years, before like the marriage was horrible. There is no way you could have told me that I would be a business person running a multi-million-dollar company, articles written about me, traveling as a speaker, and mentoring other businesses. There is no way that you could have told me that would have been my life. And then to be on TikTok, and I got I have a nice little following here. I got a nice little following on Facebook. Instagram is not my people. So, but I would have more followers if I was more consistent with my posting, but I was just running my company. But you couldn't have told me this would have been my life. You could not have told me that it would have been this amazing. And so if the possibility exists for me, the possibility exists for you, whoever you are. You know what I'm saying? And it was at my lowest. It's like you see a ball bounce, you know what I'm saying? So I'm up here thinking that life is amazing and good. And then all of a sudden I bounce, but it's like a ball. When that thing bounced back up, you know what I'm saying? It's almost like it's going even higher than it was before. And that's kind of what happened to my life. So the fall, you pick up energy. But if you play your cards right, you take all of that energy and you just bounce back up. You know what I'm saying? But the problem is a lot of people hit and then splat, and then they just done. They don't have no resiliency. They ain't got no rubber. They ain't got no nothing. They just blap. And then it's a wrap. They can't get back up. They can't. And it's some people that's just gonna be their story. That's just some people, and that's just gonna be their story. So, girl, I'm trying to get with YouTube. It's hard for me. It's hard for me to like. I said when I finally shut down my company, then I'll focus on building a YouTube channel and being consistent with showing up. Like, I like getting here because I have the interaction, but I got the channel over there. I should be live right now, but I never even think to go live on both places. So I never even think about it. So I'm gonna have to like have a schedule where I'm going live at a certain time, and then I'll know go live here, go live here, go live here, and then I'll be live on all of the platforms. I'll probably try to do that in the future. But yeah, but seriously, one of the things I talk about is pivot, when to pivot, and that anybody can pivot. Literally anybody can pivot at any point in time in their life. That same sister that told me I had 2 weeks, she is learning how to do Salesforce or something. I think it's called Salesforce. Anyway, Salesforce is hiring a bunch of people. The training is free. It's hard. You better be smart. Now, you can't just show up and think you're going to pass them tests, because it don't work like that. But they need a whole bunch of people. They made the training free. She said she's going to do it. I'm 52, 50. She's 48. So at 48 years old, she is going to have a new career because it pays like $70,000 starting. And she's a social worker right now. So she's like, I'm done with this. I did my time with the state. I'm good. I'm about to go and do whatever Salesforce people do. So, but yeah, there's an app to go live simultaneously. I'm gonna have to find it. And girl, I don't know. I was talking to her last night. She posted something on Facebook, and I was like, "What is this?" And she was like, "Oh, I'm about to switch careers. I'm about to take these." She done passed the first test. I don't know where the training is. I was shocked. I was just shocked. But she said she's gonna do Salesforce or something. Y'all, I might be saying the shit wrong. I don't even know. But I decided to close my company. I decided to close my whole candle company. I was like, I'm tired of this. I don't want to do this no more. I do not want to do this anymore. And everybody, like, heads were exploding when I started telling people that I'm going to close this candle company. And they're like, wait, what? Like, people would love to do what you're doing. Like, there are so many makers that want to get but you could have sold it. I could have, maybe I could have. There's a lot that goes into selling a company. It's not like you see these people on here and they be like, oh, just did it. It ain't that easy. It ain't that easy. And I'm black, and a lot of people don't want to pay black women what they're worth. And I may bring it back and do third-party logistics, third-party making, and third-party shipping. So I thought they was on you about a vacation. Well, girl, I ain't had no vacation. I'm the makers, but I get it, though. I haven't even scaled up like that or put it on their truck. Listen, I don't recommend scaling it. Flipper has a business already created income. I don't want to buy nobody's business. I don't even want the one I got. Hold on. My sister said she was listening to a podcast, found Salesforce. She joined Trailhead, a free platform to learn and get certified. Yes, I'm shutting down Southern Elegance. I am. I'm shutting down Southern Elegance. So, yeah, she said Salesforce, Trailhead, free platform to learn. She joined some Facebook groups. Went to a conference, like, shit, she pivoted. She just pivoted. Like at 48, she just said, I'm done, I'm pivoting. And I think that the pivot is available. I don't know. That's what she said. Tailhead. That's all I know. Tailhead, education platform. I Googled that. Trailhead. Hell, hold on, y'all. Hold on. What the hell? Salesforce, a founding group. Trailhead. That's what she said. Trail. Or is that trial? Y'all will figure it out. Y'all trailhead. But yeah, I pivot. Listen, I started Southern Elegance at 45. I started it. No, yeah, I started it at 45. I started Southern Elegance at 45. Yes, Alley Cat, I am shutting it down because of my health. I am. That's really what it boils down to. It takes a lot to run a company. And like, I don't know if y'all can see, like right here, my chest, my arm, I was so stressed out that my body literally my immune system had completely shut down and my body was literally attacking itself. And so when I went to the doctor and was like, hey, I'm breaking out in this rash, and they were like, yeah, that is caused from stress. And I'm like, are you serious? And I called my sister. She was like, she went through the same thing when she went through her divorce and her bankruptcy. She was like, it has some particular name, and it just basically means that you are stressed out to the point that your body is attacking itself. That made me go, you know what? I'm not doing this no more. I'm not doing this no more. I almost had a stroke a few months ago, or that was earlier this year. And so I said, I am done. I don't care about the money. I will live in a tiny house. I do not care. I do not care. I'm done. And so I started scaling it back. And so I was going to just scale it back. But then when I made the decision to like let it go, everything in my life got better. My blood pressure stabilized. It's still high, but my blood pressure got better. My body stopped like breaking out. Like all of these places that I had this rash started to clear up. I could sleep through the night. I had knots literally in my back, like just literally knots in my back. All of those knots are pretty much gone. So when they tell you, if you don't find rest and you're completely under stress and you need a break, your body will give you a break. And sometimes that break is death. And so I didn't want to keep going until I died. I was like, there are things that I want to do. So I got a team in place that are keeping the orders going right now. So I may leave Southern Elegance open and just keep it smaller and let them run it so that I can have it, and so that I can still like have it. But I have my coaching business. So I coach and mentor other small businesses on how to scale and grow. I'm going to start doing these monthly workshops on how to live your best life, because I am a certified life coach. And not only that, when I started my company, I was working on my doctoral degree in curriculum and instruction. And so designing curriculum and presenting information, like I wasn't just talking. I literally was working on my doctoral degree, and I was like, I'm tired of this. I'm going to start this company. And then I grew the company to a multi-million-dollar company. So excelling and working at the highest level and being the best is what I do. So when I released Southern Elegance, I slept for a week. I didn't even go into work. I just told them, y'all got to get the orders out. I didn't do anything for a week. My body was like, finally. I slept for a week when I made the decision. The PhD is torture. It is torture. How do you scale and grow for tutors? I don't understand. Burr 700, do you know how to scale and grow for tutors and homeschooling teachers? I'm not sure what you mean by that. Latanya Gaston, that is what I'm trying to get to. I'm trying to do that. Do you know how to scale and grow for tutors and teachers in business? Like, are you trying to scale and grow in education, or are you trying to scale and grow outside of education? Which one? Which one of those? Listen, the absolute happiest I was when I was a teacher and I had summers off. I had weekends and summers off, and I could travel and be with my friends and my family. That was the absolute happiest time in my life. Even though I was the brokest, I could manage that money and still, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, have a great life. I promise you, that was the happiest I ever was in life when I was teaching. So I'm gonna just go back. And so I didn't want to go back into the classroom per se, because the skill set that I've developed as a business owner, like it came very natural to me, and I didn't notice until I started talking to other people. And so I'm gonna just take the skills that I learned when I was working in education and apply it to being a consultant, like a real consultant. Like my tagline is gonna be, I'm a real consultant. Like, I have done the things that you want to do. You want to scale your company to what? What do you want to scale it to? We did $500,000 one month. I don't recommend it. I didn't sleep. You know what I'm saying? Like, we did $500,000 one month. In fact, we did $500,000 in a week of physical product. It took us 6 weeks to get it all out. And I don't recommend that to anybody, but I'll tell people how to scale to that level. You want to do it, I'll teach you how to do it. I don't recommend it. You know what I'm saying? But you need to know how to look at your numbers. What happened to, I subleased it to someone else. I subleased it out. It was the only one available, and there were like a whole lot of other people that wanted it anyway. And so when I made the decision, and I was talking to my landlord, the builder, actually, when I was talking to the builder, he was like, well, we got a line of people that want it. And I was like, well, let's give it to them. Let's give it to them. I'm currently looking for a school to complete my EDD. I was at North Carolina Central. South Carolina State got one. South Carolina State, it's a whole bunch of places you can go. Wicked Pleasure Candles, I do not recommend it. I do not recommend it. And there are a lot of reasons why, but the main reason is, number one, when you're ready to walk away from it, you don't want to be tied to, like I was tied to a $2 million building. And that $2 million building kept me up at night. It literally kept me up at night. Like, how am I going to get out from under this? And so I put off having a conversation with the builder for a very, very, very long time, because I was on the hook for $2 million. So that's number one. If you ever want to pivot, you're not going to be able to. Number two, the sweet spot for product makers is probably around $500,000 a year. $750,000 is about the max I recommend for a small product-based business. Once you hit $1 million, you're going to be miserable, and you're going to be miserable for $1 million to $5 million. Okay, for product-based businesses, you're going to be miserable running and scaling the company. You're going to just be miserable. Talk to anybody. Once you get to 5 million, you have a different kind of problem. Now you're competing with the big dogs, and they're not gonna give you room. They're not giving up shelf space. They're not making room for you. So you're fighting them every step of the way, and they have way more resources than you to push you back down into the misery zone of 1 to 5 million. And so that's what I was beginning to see. So we were doing 2 million a year in sales, but it was hard for me to get shelf space because I was arguing and fighting with the Yankee Candles of the world. You know what I'm saying? And they're like, we don't give a damn about you. We're not giving up shelf space. We're not making room for you. You know, I've been sued. I've been kicked off of platforms. So like, these are things that start happening when you start getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Hey, Classic One. And so, people think that the world is going to make room for you. Capitalism doesn't work like that. You see what I'm saying? Capitalism doesn't make room for up and coming brands. Capitalism squashes people. They squash people. They squash companies. They squash innovation. That's what it does. You know what I'm saying? On one hand, it builds innovation, but you almost have to be, you still have to be ruthless even with that. You know what I'm saying? So it squashes innovation. Y'all saw that on TikTok. When TikTok came, they were trying to shut down TikTok. So it squashes innovation, but it really squashes people. It really squashes the people that are bucking the system. So I have those types of conversations with my mentees. Like, do you want to stomp with the big dogs? And let me tell you, when you stomp with the big, have y'all ever seen, what's them things in Alaska? What, a moose? Have y'all ever seen a moose? Okay. The first time I ever saw a moose, like relative to anything else, was on this app. So I saw moose in books and shit. And I was like, oh, that's a moose. It's like a deer. That's what I'm thinking in my head. A moose is like a deer. A moose is like a SUV. You know what I'm saying? A moose is literally as tall as an SUV. A moose is as big as a Escalade. Okay? The first time I saw a moose next to an Escalade, I was like, that's not Bambi. Like, that's not a deer. That's not a deer. That's not a deer. That's like an elephant deer. It's like a cross between an elephant and a deer. That's what a moose is. Like, they're huge. Okay? So that's how it is when you're going out into the real, you going out into business. You know what I'm saying? You're thinking Bambi's. You know what I'm saying? And people are going to make room for you and it's going to be easy. And then you get out there and you're getting attacked by a damn 8-foot moose. And you don't even know because you thought it was like the size of a deer. You thought a deer and a moose was about the same. You know, and traffic has stopped. So you don't even know the rules of engagement. You know, what about the Macy's deal? I just took everything out of Macy's. I just told my buyer I'm not selling anymore. I did it with Wayfair, Macy's. I took our stuff off of Amazon. We had a couple of other corporate accounts. I was like, I'm not fulfilling any more orders for corporate accounts. Who else? I had a whole list of people that I had to contact and say, we're not doing this anymore. We're done. It might be a few left on Amazon, but like I pretty much, when I make a decision, see, this is the other thing. This is the difference. I was talking to a friend of mine because I said, I'm tired of something. I can't even remember what I said I was tired of. He said, when you say you tired of something, changes are about to happen. Every time you have ever said that you have been tired of an employee, tired of an account, tired of a person, tired of a situation, and a change is happening. And so I was tired. And I was like, okay, I'm done. I was tired of that friend. So I was like, I'm done. You know what I'm saying? And so when I get tired of an employee, they about to be fired. I'm tired of talking. I'm tired of dealing with this. So the thing about me is once I make up my mind, I'm going to pivot. I'm going to do something different. A lot of y'all don't do that. A lot of y'all be tired and then just keep talking about how tired you are, but you're not brave enough to make a decision to change the narrative. You ain't always got to quit your job, but you're not willing to change your behavior at your job either. You're not willing to change how you engage with other people at your job. You just want to complain about it. But for me, when I say I'm tired, I am tired. And that's it. A change is about to happen. And so last year I was like, I'm tired of working this hard with Southern Elegance. I said, I'm tired of working this hard. And so that was the beginning of me making the decisions. It was just a matter of how do I get out of this $2 million building? How do I get out of these corporate accounts? I still had like 2 major TV appearances we needed to do earlier this year. One was on the Tamron Hall show. I can't remember what the other one was. We had some obligations, some contractual obligations that we had to do. But yeah, I was like, I'm done. Like it's draining me. And I was done. Y'all, it's 7:00. I got to get off of here. I got to go fix me something to eat. I have not had anything to eat today. Might ride out to a restaurant. I haven't been out in a while. Go to get me some Applebee's, even though y'all be complaining about I ain't going to eat at no damn Applebee's. Hell, Applebee's is 25 minutes away in a whole nother city. And it's like a special going out to eat trip. So I love it when y'all have the wherewithal to be like, I ain't eating it on Applebee's. Who do that? Where they do that at? Shit. It's either Applebee's or KFC. So all of a sudden, Applebee's seems like fine dining all of a sudden. So go get me some ribs. I had no ribs in a long time. Y'all have a wonderful night, and I might pop back on later on tonight about 10 o'clock, something around there. So y'all have a wonderful, wonderful night. Talk to y'all later. Bye.